So somebody just asked about my post talking about fasting. I recommended an eating window for anyone trying to heal something. And I got asked a really good question from a woman who was expressing some confusion because there's pretty much contradicting information about everything on the planet right now. You can literally go online and find an article that says this thing is the best thing for you, and then search, and you can also find an article that says it's bad for you and probably highly dangerous. So I feel like I just want to speak to our true divine nature as these incredible creator beings that has been gifted this Eden of a planet to practice our own personal power and mastery and, learning different skills and life lessons from a soul perspective. So, keeping that in mind, there are literally an infinite number of realities that you can experience on this planet. And what is one person's truth and really serves them isn't somebody else's. So for this one, we're talking about how fasting affects the hormones. And there's information that says that women shouldn't fast because of our hormonal system. And while I can see that from one perspective as a truth, I just want to remind everyone that your biology hugely is dependent on your belief system. Hugely. Because there's women on the planet right now who don't eat any animal products at all and have really healthy children and pregnancies. And there are a ton of women on the planet right now that say that you absolutely have to have all kinds of animal products in order to support the female body when she's pregnant and afterwards to heal her body. And so, I've been fortunate to live in a lot of different places. And I have been fortunate to have a consciousness that's extremely observant. So nothing gets past me. I do not miss a detail. I'm very aware of my environments and the energy in them. And so I've been able to see things from a unique perspective, that it's not all you can't just draw a line in the sand like that. It's not black and white like that. There's so many different factors that come into play when it comes to the experience that you have, especially when it comes to your health. So I have seen that there's all kinds of different factors that come into play. Like the culture that you live in, like the place on the planet that you live in, like your upbringing. There's all kinds of different things that play into the experience that you have. So I just want to really drill in the concept of the fact that our beliefs are really the bedrock of all of our experiences. So for me personally, I've been, in the detox and fasting, world since I think 2013 is when I really started getting into this stuff. And I've done all kinds of different fasts. I've literally juice fasted for an entire month before. I've done dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of Ayurvedic cleanses. I've done lots of different juice fasts. I've done fruit fasts. I've done all kinds of different enemas. I've done, full-blown panchakarma in India, which is the most intense detoxification program that exists and ever has. And it's thousands of years old. It's absolutely fascinating. So to, make a long story short, I just want to encourage everybody to remember your own sovereignty as a creator being in your own reality, and to really listen to the wisdom of your body, because it does not matter who says what. And it's, it can be really overwhelming, the information that we're exposed to on a daily basis, which is why when I work with people, I am constantly reinforcing your ability to listen to your own guidance, to listen to the wisdom of your own body. Because there's, like I said, there's contradicting information about everything on the planet right now. And the only way that we can literally steer ourselves through this reality right now, which is crazy, is to have a deep sense of trust in ourselves and to be able to listen deeply to what is true for us, and your body's never going to lie to you. Your mind can trick you. Not intentionally, but it can. Your body's always going to tell you what's your truth. That's why you always got to go to the body wisdom, the wisdom of your body. There's a language that your body speaks. And because we've been disconnected from listening to it for so long and conditioned intentionally to not listen to it, when you first start bringing that awareness online again and your sensitivity to it, it's just like anything else, and it takes practice. I've been actively, deeply, with devotion, listening to the wisdom of my body since 2011. And when I first started this journey of healing myself and awakening, I felt so disconnected from my body. So disconnected from my body. I was so frustrated. I felt like I didn't understand it. I didn't know how to take care of it. I was uncomfortable and dealing with different health issues, and I was completely clueless. I didn't have any of the education or experience that I have now. And it's taken me years, it takes years to bring that awareness back online or to make that reconnection again. So I strongly encourage everyone to put that on your altar, the wisdom of your body, whether you have a physical altar or not. If you don't have a physical altar, I strongly encourage you to make one. But if not, you can just put it on your, in your non-physical altar, which basically means you just you put it in your consciousness with intention to pay attention to it. Right? So, the question was around the contradicting information around fasting being a really powerful healing tool, and also, some people saying that women shouldn't do it because their hormonal system. And I that's my answer, is this whole speech. But to really answer that directly, from my personal experience, yeah, you kind of feel a little bit weird when you're fasting. That's natural. Your body's doing a totally different thing because it's not putting all of its energy into digesting food anymore. So it's going in and cleaning out all kinds of crap that it's been storing for you for probably years. And so, yeah, you go through a transitional period. So your hormones might shift around a little bit while your body's doing all kinds of other shifting around. But it's not going to permanently change your hormones to fast. They'll go right back to normal as soon as you start eating. So I really don't think it's that big of a deal. In fact, from my own personal perspective, the benefits that you can get from fasting, especially with deep devotion and intention, could potentially improve your hormonal system. Because, there's all kinds of pollutions and imbalances that can happen in the body that fasting can heal. You could already be having weird symptoms with your hormones, and it might be because you have a bunch of heavy metals in your body, or some other type of thing in your ecosystem that's disrupting the homeostasis. It's already disrupting your hormonal system, and a fast could very well clean that stuff out and then have you be experiencing like an even better balance with your hormones once you're done fasting. So I personally am like a huge advocate for fasting. And yeah, it's everything's going to be like a little bit more like I feel like it's just easier to prescribe things to men, but like to the female body there is like a little bit more um there's a little bit more thought and intention that needs to be put into whatever it is that we are applying to the female as opposed to the male. So, yeah, you obviously probably aren't going to want to fast while you're bleeding. I wouldn't recommend fasting during the week up to your bleed. If we're really going to get that deep into it, the best time for a female to fast is going to be in inner summer around ovulation, right? But it also like it's a case by case basis, right? Because like, you know, there's so many different things that come into play, which is why you have to look at each individual as an individual. So I can give you general information, but every single person is unique and requires a different approach, which you can't figure out unless you actually talk to somebody and like go into a deep health history. So this might be totally different for somebody who is like actively trying to get pregnant right now. And like maybe has like grown up with like a specific ailment or, like it really just depends on the individual. But from my personal experience, fasting has been one of the most incredible healing tools. It like you can literally purge off like years of aging from your cells fasting, and you can also overdo it and you can do it the wrong way. So I'm just going to leave that here so that I don't make this any longer. I hope that's helpful. I could probably go on for another hour about this, but I didn't want this to be too long. So I hope you have a beautiful day wherever you are. Aloha.